Right, it's time. Yearly Swedish Melee update. Um, it's been about a year. I figured it's time to do another one for 2025. I believe this is around the time where I've done it previously, like right before FESTA. So this checks out. It's gonna be in English again, in case like other regions are interested in hearing about the Swedish scene and everything around it. Maybe learn something, maybe get some inspiration. I don't know. Short recap about me. If you haven't like watched the previous these kind of videos I made, I'm Flippy. I'm a TO from Stockholm. I'm the European Melee backroom representative for Sweden. I played Melee for like 15 years. Yeah. This video will have like I'm gonna be repeating a bunch of stuff that I've already said in the other videos. So if you've seen them, you probably know all these things. And this one might be a bit shorter because I don't want to like repeat everything from the previous videos. But same disclaimers as always. I don't want to like discredit anyone who works or does anything for Swedish Melee. Like if you are in the scene and you do like anything for Swedish Melee, I appreciate it a ton. Let's go, hype. Uh, So, and I like you shouldn't blame people for quitting the game, things like that. Like it's the player's choice to stop playing. You shouldn't like flame or yeah, you know what I mean. I appreciate everyone who helps out with Swedish Melee. Don't be mean to people who leave the scene. It's their choice. Don't worry about it. Focus on the people that are here. Yeah. I'm like somewhat reading from a script again, at least like a little bit. So hopefully I don't sound too stiff. Uh, like Melee in general this year has obviously been quite eventful, like the entire world, not just Sweden. I'm not gonna get into like the worldwide things too much, but it's like worth pointing out that this year has been it's been chaotic for Melee. I think those of you who are like really in the scene know what I'm talking about, and I'm not gonna like get into it, but I just want to mention that I won't. I don't know. Let's get into Sweden specific stuff. This is the third time I'm doing one of these videos, and I think the Swedish scene has actually had its like best year in a long time, which is super hype. Um, the previous two videos I did were like they weren't negative, but they were like, what should we do, yada yada. And I think this one is like a lot more positive. I think Melee in Sweden has been doing great this year, which is super fun. I think locals are doing good. We have like 6 active regions at the moment, I think, that all have active locals, which is super sick. Gothenburg is doing great with Kville Biljard. They've been like on the up and coming. A lot of motivated players. I think Kville might be new for this year. Maybe they had Kville last year. But they have a super sick monthly. They have new players coming. They have motivated players. Shout out to Slumpen Boys, May, everyone who keeps the Gothenburg scene alive and active with the TOing. They seem to have a lot of new players over there, which is super nice. I went there a few weeks ago and I met a lot of people that I hadn't met before, so that's super cool. I think Stockholm locals we're doing like about the same as last year. I think we're like steady going with similar numbers entry, which is good. Like we're around like 20 people every week, which is really good numbers. So I don't think too much has changed for the Stockholm locals. Uppsala had like a scene revival this year thanks to Siggy. Shoutouts. So Uppsala is back and has locals, both monthlies and like weeklies, I think, which is super fun to see. It's like easy to travel to for us Stockholm. Same with Västerås. Västerås actually lost their venue, but they got a new one now, and their monthlies are back, so that's super cool. I believe they have weeklies as well, but I think they only play friendlies. But so Västerås is back, or back. They weren't gone for too long, but like Uppsala was inactive for a really long time, and now it's back thanks to Siggy, which is super cool. Skåne has also been doing really good, I think. They have their locals every Wednesday, and they also have the Kappa Clash monthlies that are super cool. I really want to go to one. So I think, and they also have a ton of new players in Skåne, so I'm really happy for them, and it seems to be going really well. Linköping, I think, has regular locals, but they're not that many, and they're like a bit more low key, but it's still like an active scene in Sweden, I think. And I think Swedish like the Swedish players have been more motivated this year than ever mostly due to a few like older players returning to the game. Um, and a lot of like there's been a lot of online talking smack on what countries are the best and stuff, and I think that actually really helped the Swedish scene because we've been like underrated by other countries in Europe, and now we wanna show that we're fucking good at the game, which is super cool. I legit think the return of Big M has been a huge impact to like the Swedish melee scene in general this year. So a huge shout out to Big M. Uh, if you don't know, he was like a Fox main in Skåne a long time ago, and then he quit for a long time. And then he decided to come back and play Box Falcon, and then he was like, "What the fuck? Everyone sucks," which sounds mean, but I think it actually really helped the Swedish scene like get back on their feet and start grinding. So huge shout out to Big M. I legit think Big M has been a huge part of this year's Swedish melee uprising. I don't know if he knows it, but shout out to Big M. It also spawned the whole like Koppen 1 started this. I don't have to like keep it secret or anything, but the whole like pirate yar movement thing that Koppen created, where we like raided a bunch of netplay tournaments just to show that Sweden is good at the game, just to fill top 8s with Swedish players. It was a ton of fun. I think that was like also a huge part of the like other countries underrating Swedish players, and we wanted to show that we'll just show up and beat everyone. So that's been super fun. Shoutouts to Koppen and BM, of course. Yeah, I think BM shit talk really helped out the Swedish scene. There's a new European ranking. It's not a good look for Sweden. It's only Sharp. Sharp is the only Swede on the new European ranking. And I think that's also like a reason why the whole Yar pirate thing spawned, because like only one ranked Swedish player in Europe, that's crazy. We have to like show that we have a lot of other good players. Sharp was number 15 this year on the European top 50. And we know Swedish players are better than this. Like there should be more Swedes on this ranking, but there hasn't been too much like traveling from Swedes. Well, this was last year too, so maybe this year, if there will be a European ranking, there will be some more Swedes like Big M and Safrandan, etc. We just don't have like the amount of events other countries do, and it's harder for us to travel to this like. There's this clump of countries in Europe that is like the Netherlands, Germany, France. They can like pretty easily like travel between each other, but it's a bit harder for us because we're like further north up and it's like a longer trip. So I don't think too many Swedes have like traveled to enter bigger events that was needed last year. We could also talk a bit about Pipsqueaks' retirement. I think all of us, like us Swedish players, already kind of thought of him as retired already. No offense, we love you, Pip, but like, uh, we would love to see Pip keep competing, but if he doesn't want to, that's totally fine. We still love Pip, and he probably will still show up to locals sometimes and play some friendlies. So Sharp is the best Swedish active player right now, probably rank 1 if we were to make a Swedish ranking, which we will in a bit, I think. Shoutouts to Pipsqueak, he's great. Shoutouts to Sharp, let's go. Let's talk about Dreamhack. I talked to Dreamhack last year, and my hopes were not like super high about them letting me host Melee at Dreamhack Stockholm, which turned out to be true, and they didn't let me host because of the Nintendo licensing application bullshit. So we did apply for last year. Or for context, there has been only one Dreamhack Stockholm in total, and that was last year. Now that Dreamhack has entirely moved to Stockholm from Jönköping. So the second Dreamhack Stockholm will be this November and will have Melee. But I tried to get Melee last year, but it was denied by Dreamhack because we didn't get a response from the Nintendo application bullshit thing. But this year they were super cool and were like, fuck it, just do it. We don't care. So there will be Melee at the Dreamhack Stockholm this year. Signups are open. I'm giving out a bunch of free tickets to the event, or free tickets. I'm giving out a bunch of tickets to winners of various events in Sweden. I have 10 in total to give out as prizes, and I've announced 3 of them. So there are like 7 more tickets that will be available. So this will be like our first proper Swedish regional tournament in a long time. I mean, this has potential to become like a Swedish major. I don't think this is the year for it though. But maybe if it goes super well this year, we could make it more into a major. I'm like advertising it more as a Swedish regional, but if people want to travel to it from other countries, that would be super sick. But I'm not trying to make it like a 500 people huge European major type thing because I'm not like confident in the space that we have been given that we will be able to like have that many setups and like space for all the players. But hopefully DreamHack will be like maybe 100 150 entrants, Swedish entrants tournament, which is kind of what I'm aiming for. And it's super cool that we're like finally getting a bigger event in Sweden. Hopefully you come. That would be great. I am TOing it. It will be great. If you've been to like previous melees at DreamHack, don't expect the same type of thing as in Jönköping, because this is more of a they will give us space at DreamHack and we can do whatever we want. Whereas previous DreamHacks have been they help us with like a stage, commentators, desks, setups, yada yada. We're basically only given the space now, so we have to do everything on our own. So like it will like mostly just be the Stockholm setups and like our streaming equipment. It will be like more grassroots than previous DreamHacks. But I think it'll still be super fun. So yeah, also FESTA obviously is still around. I don't know what to call FESTA. Is it a major? Is it a regional? It's just a vibe. I don't know. It's in 2 or 3 weeks now, I think. I'm super excited as always. FESTA is like always the highlight of the year for me and like a lot of people. It's super nice seeing a lot of people excited for it. I will see you all there. It will be fun. I have a lot of cool plans and ideas for what we will do. So FESTA is still around. We'll see for how long. Who knows? Maybe we'll do another one. Maybe not. That's what we say every year. I talked last year about um, our like online chats and discords and stuff and like what I want to do with those, and I haven't changed anything. The Stockholm Discord is still basically the Sweden Discord, and the Sweden Discord is pretty dead. I have kept it this way for the same reason as last year, because I'm worried about what would happen if we like nuke the Sweden one and rename the Stockholm one to Sweden, and like I don't want to change any dynamics or vibes that we currently have, even though it's a bit weird at the moment. But like I talked to other European TOs and they advised me to change and like only have one big country Discord. And I don't know, it's probably a good idea, but I'm also like scared of like big drastic decisions of renaming and removing servers, and I think it would likely just stay the way it is right now until like change is necessary, but I don't think it is at the moment. So shmeep shmap. It is what it is. If you're a Swedish player and you're not in the Stockholm server, you probably should be, because it's like the most active Swedish Discord and like communication for Swedish Melee at the moment. So get in there. I might post an invite link in the description of this video, probably. But yeah, to like wrap up some points, all active scenes in Sweden are doing just as good or better than last year. I think it's really been a good year for Swedish Melee. We're getting a big tournament with Dreamhack. FESTA is still a thing, super nice. Players are super motivated this year, I think, compared to previous years. There's been a lot more grinding and like serious players, which is great. Newer players in Göteborg, Gothenburg, and Skåne, I've seen a ton. There's a few new players in Stockholm as well. So Uppsala has a few players that I've never heard of before, which is great. There are still obviously like problems with the Swedish scene lacking big events. I would still love it if we had more than like FESTA, and maybe DreamHack becomes a regular thing. I don't know, but it would be nice to have like a real regional that isn't like super expensive to go to, because DreamHack is like a festival and the tickets are pretty expensive, and I'm aware of this, and like there's nothing I can do about it. But It's a pretty expensive event to go to if you're just going for melee, but there's stuff to do except for melee, even if you just go to Dreamhack and check it out. It's like a cool experience, I think. Um, I still would love to see if the Swedish scene had more like content or like advertisement to get more people into the scene, stuff like that. But we don't have like any new problems from last year. Like nothing has gotten worse. I think it's all just positives this year, which is great. That's about all I have, I think. I think we've been doing well. More Swedish players on the ranking next year would be great, because people sleep on the Sweden players. I think this video is probably a bit shorter than the previous ones, because like a lot of things that I want to talk about will just be repeats from previous videos, and I don't think it's worth like repeating. Same things from the other videos still apply. I don't wanna repeat myself. Good year for Swedish Melee. We've grown a lot in numbers and motivation. Shoutouts to all the TOs and all the tryhards, all the non-tryhards, new players, active players, people that just watch. Everyone who keeps the game alive. I love you all. That's all I got. See you at FESTA. I'll do my best at FESTA and at Dreamhack. I will probably be at Somnio Noctem. You should go. I'm helping out with that. You should go to that too. I will be at SUP 2 as well. Come to Dreamhack. Keep playing Melee. Woo! That's all. Free Palestine, trans rights, Melee forever. Puss och kram.